What's going on, guys, girls, and NHL free agency busting loose? 5 minutes ago, Claude Giroux signs with the Ottawa Senators. 6.5 million per season. We think it may be a 3-year deal for 19 and a half. I'm not exactly sure, but Giroux leaves Florida, goes to Ottawa, and he's heading back toward his home. And six and a half mil. It may be 2 years, 13 million, but I think it's 3 year, 19 and a half. That's what I'm thinking. Claude Giroux with the Senators, um, and that's what was expected. Uh, the big news is, where is Johnny G going? Is he going to go home? Is he going back home? Who says you can't go home? That's what John Bon Jovi says. And could he go to the Devils? Could he go to the Flyers? Could he go to the Rangers? He's from right across the bridge in Jersey. All indications are telling me he's going to the Devils. Um, Most reports have him going to the Rangers. But, I mean, the kid grew up as a Flyers fan. So, we'll see what happens. Um, uh, we'll see what happens there. Uh, so Claude Giroux signs with the Senators. Um, we do know, if they go to the Flyers, if Johnny Gaudreau goes to the Flyers, they got to open some cap space. Can they get rid of Van Riemsdyk's contract? That's a contract nobody wants right now. You get rid of JVR, chances are you're going to have to give up a number one pick for it, too. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be releasing money. I mean, getting rid of money and JVR probably, and a first rounder, and then you get the conditional pick, which is pretty much peanuts. It would be like the Flyers would be unloading as much as they could and get nothing in return in order to get Johnny Gaudreau. Um, sweet deal for the Flyers if they can do it, but can they unload JVR? I don't think so. I really don't. Uh, Ilya Samsonov, goaltender, has signed with Toronto, the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs have signed Samsonov, and they needed that after Jack Campbell left. Jack Campbell leaves uh, a big hole in the Toronto system, and he signs $5 million a year, 5 years, 25 million with the Oilers. The Oilers could be done right now. I really thought they may go after Jonathan Taves, but Taves now looks more and more like he may be heading to L.A., San Jose, Anaheim. He could be going to the West Coast, and we'll see what happens there. I got a feeling Taves will not be a Blackhawk by the end of the day. I don't think Patrick Kane will still be a Blackhawk by the end of the day. They are sellers. They are burning down the house in Chicago. If you are a Chicago Blackhawks season ticket holder, chances are you don't even want one this year, because you'll probably witness as many wins as I do going there. They're not going to win very many times there. 41 home games. They may not win double digits at home this year. It could be that bad. It's going to be pretty sick for them if they're able to unleash all the salary they want to. They want to bring all these guys up from AHL, International League, and bring some guys from overseas over. We'll see what happens there. That's a good way for a coach to lose their job, though, and a GM as well. But they are definitely sellers. Definitely sellers. They want these draft picks. 25, 2 years from now, 24 rather, 2 years from now is looking like the biggest class of players to come along in maybe 18, 20 years. It is a huge class. And we're talking mostly just college players. We're not even talking about the internationals. Sweden, Switzerland, Germany, Russia. We're not talking about those players from over there. Slovakia, Slovenia. No, we're not talking about any of those guys. We're talking about mostly the guys from here in the States that are playing in college right now. It's going to be a huge draft in 2 years. Chicago wants a big part of it. And if they can get rid of Patrick Kane, now they're not getting number one picks for these guys. That's not going to happen. They're going to get peanuts on the dollar. They're not going to get peanut brittle on the dollar, and that's just not going to happen. Johnny Gaudreau right now has yet to sign. Where is he going? Most people say East Coast. I definitely say East Coast. He notified Calgary staff and said, "I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back." And being unrestricted free agent, he has no reason to have to come back. The Flyers probably, I would say, if they didn't have to unload all this salary, I would say they would probably be number one on my list. Right now, I say the Devils. I think New Jersey Devils are the team to watch here. We'll see what happens. But Gaudreau, he's going to bring a healthy penny with him. You know, we're talking 10 plus mil a year wherever he goes. And, so obviously he is going to be the number one man, a number one center on most any team. Sans the Oilers or Toronto or a couple of teams, or 3 or 4 teams. But most teams, he's going to be number one. So we'll see what happens. Gaudreau, those 4 teams, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Devils, and the Flyers. It's, he could go to any of those 4. I think the Islanders are the least likely. I think the Devils are the most likely. And then probably the Rangers are second best, and then maybe the Flyers. But if we hear that Van Riemsdyk contract has been sold out to a team that can afford him, maybe a Phoenix, Arizona Coyotes, maybe a Buffalo Sabres team that are willing and want a number one pick as well. It could happen. Van Riemsdyk could end up in one of these places and be there, probably on their top line. I guess it could happen to the Sharks, but getting rid of Brent Burns. Burns looks like he's heading to Carolina. All indications are that the Sharks are not in the buying mood as much as they are in the selling mood as well. And that could spell bad for Van Riemsdyk going there. It probably won't happen. It just probably won't. Van Riemsdyk, his numbers have been so wishy-washy over the years that he's been in Philly, then traded away, and then come back to Philly. You don't know what you're getting. You really don't. Is he damaged goods too? He's been injured a couple of 3 times. To me, I think that it's not worth the hassle to go get him. A number one pick would be wonderful. But is he worth taking on his contract and getting a number one? Maybe. But we'll see what happens. We're seeing Helm now. Helm is looking like he's going to stay in Colorado. $1.25 million for 1 year. Helm is staying in Colorado. 1 year, $1.25 million. So he didn't test the market very much. It was rumored that Helm may be going elsewhere. Um, I'd heard Detroit's name being called out. I'd heard um, also St. Louis's. St. Louis just doesn't have the cap space that some of these other teams have. That's just it. But I really, really think that Gaudreau ends up going to the Devils. I really do. Um, Nick Leddy, um, defenseman. The Blues are going to sign him to a 4-year deal, and they're just working out the money right now. So Nick Leddy re-signs with the Blues, defenseman. Um, that's big for St. Louis. Their blue line. Um, um, it's kind of weak, and so he re-signs there. Claude Giroux, as we said, um, heading to Ottawa for the Senators. $6.5 million a year. We just don't know whether it's 2 or 3-year deal. I'm hearing now it's a 3-year deal worth 6.5. So $19.5 million contract. Yeah, 3 years. That will probably do him for his career right there. That's probably it for Giroux. He'll probably end up retiring as a Senator. Where all these other players going? It's crazy. The main piece of the puzzle is Johnny G. Where's Gaudreau going? And then what are the Flames going to bring back? Will the Flames go after Patrick Kane? Taves looks like maybe he's heading out west. But is there any chance that the Flames may end up saying, "Hey, we'll go after Patrick Kane and maybe get a third line center as well somewhere else and save a little money"? Patrick Kane's still got maybe a year, 2 and 3 in the tank left. Not a Johnny Gaudreau motor with Patrick Kane, but he's a heady guy on the ice, can pass the puck. Very, very, very interesting where he ends up going. So to update everybody, Jack Campbell and Evander Kane re-sign. Jack Campbell signs with the Oilers, 5 years, $25 million to be their goalie. Evander Kane re-signs 4 years, $20 million. You know, I know there's a lot of questions. You know, owing $26 million, walking out of the casino in Vegas, owing $6 million there. There's a lot of things up in the air. You know, giving away games. That's a big, huge question mark for me. I wouldn't mess with Evander Kane for nothing, and paying him $5 million a year is a huge ask. Bruins acquire Pavel Zacha from the Devils. Are the Devils freeing up that cap space to try to go after Johnny G? It sounds like it to me. Gaudreau, more and more, the more I see the way the bricks are laying down, it looks like Johnny Gaudreau to me is going to be a New Jersey Devil. We'll see what happens. Nick Leddy re-signs with the St. Louis Blues. He's a defenseman. Helm re-signs with the Avs. Samsonov ends up going to the Maple Leafs after Jack Campbell leaves today. Jack Campbell left and went to the Oilers. Evander Kane, like I say, he is re-signing with Edmonton, and Claude Giroux is already heading out, going to the Senators from Florida. We already know Evgeny Malkin with the Penguins. Malkin is re-signed a deal. So So he's coming back for a couple more years. It was rumored that he even may go to Tampa, but now it looks more and more like Tampa may end up losing a couple players more than it does look like they're going to get players. Um, the huge player on the board is Gaudreau right now. Does Gaudreau wait, see if um, see if um, the see if the Flyers end up unloading, or do they? Does he just simply say the heck with it? I'm going to New Jersey. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. Um, it sounds like Carolina's getting Brent Burns too. It's they really want Burns. Burns 6'6", defenseman, can score. Play. He can play on the blue line, on the power play. Um, he's a strong, big kid, and he's an all-star. So we'll see what happens there. Um, I'd already heard it was a done deal, Burns to Carolina, but right now it's looking like they're still in the stages of getting him. Maybe the latter stages, but still they're in the stages of acquiring Brent Burns. Um, so we'll see what happens. That'd be a loss definitely for the Sharks if he ends up leaving them to go to the East Coast. A lot of movement from the center part of the state, Midwest, and the West Coast to the East Coast this year. So we'll see what happens. My prediction is Johnny Gaudreau ends up a New Jersey Devil. Second place I'd have him going is the Rangers. Third place would be the Flyers. I would have him otherwise going number one to the Flyers, but the Flyers have got to open up that cap space. Not going to be easy to do. Van Riemsdyk's contract may not be enough to get Gaudreau. They may have to unload two players. And unloading players is not as easy as you would think. You would think, hey, we'll give you this guy, this contract, and we'll give you a number one. But teams have got to also the team acquiring this player has to have it not only cap space, but a need for a number two, a second line player. And if you got to pay $10 million, why wouldn't you just go out yourself and try to go after Gaudreau? Now, if you're a team like Buffalo, you're probably not going to get Gaudreau. He's not going to want to go to Buffalo. That's a place where Van Riemsdyk could end up at. Buffalo. The Coyotes, he could get it. He could also go to the Stars. Don't be surprised. Dallas Stars may end up making some moves before it's over with. But my prediction is Johnny Gaudreau ends up a New Jersey Devil. I'm going to say Jonathan Taves ends up with the LA Kings, and I'm going to say Kane. What's his name? I can't even think of his first name. Kane of the Blackhawks. I think he's going to go to the Flames. I think there's a chance he goes to the Flames, and that would solve some of their Gaudreau problems. They're not going to re-sign him. They're not re-signing him at all. So Patrick Kane. I think there's a great chance Patrick Kane ends up in Flameland, Calgary, and then I also like I say, I think the Kings will end up getting Jonathan Taves. Gaudreau ends up going to the Devils. Now, if you really want a dark horse for Gaudreau, the Capitals could end up getting him. He could end up with the Caps before it's over with. They got the cap space to get Gaudreau, but we'll see what happens. I doubt it. I think it's a Devils. Then I think the Rangers have second best chance. Then I think the Flyers, and then the Edmonton. The Islanders, rather, the New York Islanders. So we'll see what happens. I think one of those four teams end up getting him, but don't be surprised if a team like a Boston, if they could clear space, um, a team like I don't think Columbus is in it too much, but Washington could definitely jump in there and try to take him last minute. So we'll see what happens. He's heading East Coast. We just don't know where yet. Kadri, that's another big, huge piece, a big centerman too. Um, he could, who knows where he may end up going. Darcy Kemper is already in Washington, so the Capitals signed Kemper. Um, he's the biggest goaltender to go, and he goes to Washington. So we'll see what happens. A lot more pieces are going to fall yet. Gaudreau, I say, goes to the Devils. We'll see. Have a great day. God bless, and I hope your team gets who you're looking for.